Early one afternoon around 1 p.m., the notorious supervillain Dr. Fecal Matter made his grand entrance at a mall in downtown Chicago.
Today is the day I unleash chaos upon the world with my master plan involving poop. But first, I need a diversion. To execute my scheme of extracting all the waste from the sewers and flooding the town, before constructing a throne of poop atop the highest mountain, I need to create a massive distraction. An idea struck him. I'll flood them all.
With determination, Dr. Fecal Matter dashed inside, eager to set his plan in motion. He slipped into a restroom and pulled out a toolbox, muttering to himself.
This will work. I just need to break one of these pipes to unleash a torrent of water. That'll cause the mall to flood, forcing everyone to evacuate and creating utter chaos. While they're distracted, I can execute my plan undetected.
With a large hammer in hand, he began to strike the pipe. Bam, bam, boom, bang, clang! The rhythmic pounding continued until, with a deafening snap, the pipe finally gave way, releasing a powerful surge of water. As the bathroom filled rapidly, the sound of an alarm echoed through the mall.
Perfect. Now to escape before anyone sees me or before I drown.
He hurried out of the restroom and made a beeline for the nearest sewer drain. Meanwhile, at Hero League headquarters, superheroes Colton, Zach, Chris, and their commander were gathered in the man cave, engrossed in a game of Monopoly.
Darn it, I just landed on Park Place.
Tough luck, I've got a hotel there, so that's $1,000 you owe me.
You always snag the best properties.
Hey, it's just superior strategy.
As Zach fiddled with his Monopoly money, an alarm suddenly blared throughout the man cave. Emergency! Emergency! A robotic voice announced. Connor, the commander, rushed to the control panel to assess the situation.
Guys, it looks like the mall is flooding due to a damaged pipe. We need to get there fast and rescue anyone who might be trapped inside. We also need to find out what caused this.
Heroes, assemble.
Mr. Callaway instructed as he donned his superhero suit. Colton, Zach, Chris, Mr. Dugan, and Mr. Rence quickly followed suit.
All right, team, the rest of you are still in training, so I'll accompany you on this mission. I won't take the lead, but will observe your actions and step in if necessary. You all are in charge.
The group piled into Mr. Rence's blue supersonic speed van, racing off to the emergency scene. As the blue supersonic speed van sped toward the mall, the atmosphere inside buzzed with anticipation.
All right, everyone knows their roles. Colton, you'll be our lightning bolt, ready to clear the way if things get rough. Zach, use your telekinesis to help move any obstacles or people who may be trapped. Chris, your ability to control grass could be useful for creating barriers or even rescuing people. Mr. Dugan, be prepared to defend us with those blades if necessary. Mr. Rence, shapeshift if you need to blend in or scout ahead. And Mr. Callaway, your experience will guide us through.
Got it.
They all echoed, adrenaline surging.
This is worse than I thought.
Back at the mall, the superheroes arrived, the scene chaotic with water rushing through the lower levels. People were already being evacuated, and the alarm blared loudly.
Let's split up.
Zach, Chris, and I will check the lower floors. Colton, you and Mr. Dugan handle the upper levels. Mr. Rence, scout around and let us know if you see anything unusual.
On it! Mr. Rence responded, immediately shifting into the form of a squirrel to dart through the crowd unnoticed. As they moved, Dr. Fecal Matter activated his device, causing more water to surge forth from the broken pipe, exacerbating the flooding.
Yes, let it flow. Soon the whole town will be my playground of poop.
Chris spotted a family trapped on a second-floor balcony, water rising rapidly beneath them. I'll create a barrier of grass to hold back the water, he shouted, thrusting his arms forward. The grass sprouted quickly, creating a wall that slowed the water's advance.
Great work, Chris. I've got them.
Zach used his telekinesis to lift the family to safety. As they fled to safety, Colton and Mr. Dugan made their way through the building, the sound of rushing water echoing in their ears.
Do you feel that? I think I can sense something. It's like a surge of energy coming from below.
Let's check it out, Mr. Dugan replied, his fingers glinting with sharp blades, ready for anything. Meanwhile, Dr. Fecal Matter could hear the commotion outside.
They're getting closer. I need to execute the final part of my plan.
He pressed another button on his device, sending a signal that would release even more waste from the sewers. As the superheroes regrouped, Connor's voice crackled in their earpieces.
Stay alert. I sense something is manipulating the flooding on purpose. We need to find the source.
Let's move.
Colton shouted as they charged toward the lower levels, determined to confront the mastermind behind the chaos.
Soon, my throne will be built, and these meddling heroes will be nothing but a distant memory.
As the heroes descended into the lower levels of the mall, the water surged around their ankles, creating a treacherous environment. Colton focused, channeling his lightning powers to illuminate the dark, flooded corridors.
This way.
He called out, leading the group through the chaos. Zack kept his senses alert, using his telekinesis to lift debris away from their path.
We need to find that pipe and shut it down. If we don't, the entire mall will be underwater.
Meanwhile, Dr. Fecal Matter crouched behind a row of vending machines, watching the heroes with a mix of amusement and irritation.
They think they can stop me? Pathetic! With one final push, I'll drown this city in my glorious excrement.
He pressed another button on his device, causing the sound of rushing water to intensify. Suddenly, Mr. Rence returned from his scouting mission, shifting back to his human form. I saw a control panel near the flooded area. It looks like something is actively managing the water flow. If we can reach it, we might be able to reverse the flooding.
Lead the way!
Connor commanded, determination lighting his eyes. As they hurried toward the control panel, Dr. Fecal Matter realized he needed to act fast.
They're onto me. I can't let them reach that panel.
He activated a hidden trap, causing the mall's lighting to flicker ominously and the water to surge even higher.
Watch out.
Colton shouted as a wave crashed down the hallway, forcing them to scramble for higher ground. Chris, thinking quickly, summoned vines from the ground, wrapping them around a nearby pillar to stabilize themselves against the oncoming tide. "We have to hold on," he yelled, his heart racing. Dr. Fecal Matter cackled maniacally as he observed the chaos from his hiding spot.
Let them fight against the flood. Soon they will be overwhelmed, and I will reign supreme.
Just then, Mr. Dugan spotted a reflection glimmering in the water. "There's something shiny over there," he pointed, leading the group in that direction. Together, they fought against the current, inching closer to the control panel.
Zack, can you move that debris?
Consider it done.
Zack focused, using his telekinesis to lift the debris effortlessly, revealing the panel beneath.
Got it. Now let's see if we can reverse this.
As he began to work on the panel, Colton felt a surge of energy in the air.
I think I can sense Dr. Fecal Matter's presence nearby.
"Then we need to hurry!" Mr. Callaway urged, his immortal strength ready for whatever challenge lay ahead. Back in his hiding spot, Dr. Fecal Matter felt the pressure mounting.
No, they can't interfere with my plans.
He lunged forward, revealing himself with a dramatic flare.
You think you can stop me? I'll unleash a flood of epic proportions.
Not if we can help it.
Colton shouted, charging forward with a bolt of lightning crackling at his fingertips. In response, Dr. Fecal Matter summoned a wave of contaminated water, aiming to wash the heroes away. But as the water surged, Chris raised his hands, calling forth a wall of grass to absorb the impact.
Now, Zack, focus on that panel.
As Zack twisted knobs and pressed buttons, the panel flickered with energy. He could feel the tide beginning to change.
I think it's working. The water levels are starting to drop.
"Keep going!" Mr. Dugan urged, readying his blades for any imminent attack. Dr. Fecal Matter narrowed his eyes, realizing the heroes were gaining the upper hand.
No, I won't let you ruin my masterpiece.
He unleashed a torrent of waste from his device, but Colton intercepted it with a burst of lightning, shattering the incoming wave. As the battle intensified, the mall trembled, and the air crackled with energy. The heroes pressed forward, their determination unwavering against the villain's chaotic plan. They fought not just for the mall, but for the town that lay beyond, unaware of the storm brewing in the heart of Dr. Fecal Matter's twisted ambition.
Fecal Matter.
Later that evening, Dr. Fecal Matter staggered into the dimly lit headquarters of the Villain League, his clothes soaked and his demeanor visibly defeated. The stark contrast between his chaotic appearance and the sleek, high-tech environment of the headquarters was unmistakable. He approached the central meeting room, where the leader of the League, Plasma Man, awaited. Plasma Man sat at the head of a long, glossy table, his glowing blue skin pulsating with energy as he reviewed reports on recent villain activities. His sharp eyes narrowed as Dr. Fecal Matter entered.
You're late, and I can already tell by the look on your face that you have bad news.
Dr. Fecal Matter straightened up, trying to muster some semblance of confidence, but the shame of his failure weighed heavily on him.
Well, you see, Plasma Man, there was an unexpected twist in the plan. Unexpected twist? You're supposed to come back with good evil news. Every week we go over our villainous endeavors, and you come back with tales of conquest, chaos, and success. Not this pathetic display. I had the perfect plan. But those heroes, those insufferable do-gooders, they thwarted me at every turn. The water levels were supposed to rise and drown that mall, but they reversed it.
Plasma Man slammed his fist on the table, sending a shockwave through the room.
You're telling me you let a bunch of teenagers ruin your grand plan? Do you realize how that reflects on this league?
Dr. Fecal Matter opened his mouth to respond, but fell silent under Plasma Man's piercing gaze.
You're lucky I don't kick you out of here right now. We have a reputation to uphold, and your failure puts us all at risk. Please, give me another chance. I can come up with something even more diabolical. Just let me. Enough. You will not waste any more of my time with your incompetence. You have 1 week to come up with a new plan. If you fail again, you'll find yourself on the wrong end of the villain hierarchy. Understand?
Dr. Fecal Matter nodded vigorously, fear etched on his face.
Yes, I understand. Good. Now get out of my sight, you have work to do.
As Dr. Fecal Matter turned to leave, he felt a mix of anger and determination boiling within him. He knew he could not fail again. He must rise to the occasion. The heroes had embarrassed him, and he would make them pay.
Next time I'll show them true chaos.
He muttered under his breath as he exited the headquarters, already plotting his revenge. In the shadows of the hallway, a figure watched him leave, one of the League's spies, a cunning operative named Shadow Whisper. She smirked, knowing that there was always an opportunity in chaos. Perhaps Dr. Fecal Matter's next blunder could be turned to her advantage. As the doors closed behind Dr. Fecal Matter, the tension in the headquarters hung thick in the air, setting the stage for the inevitable return of villainy.
Great job today, team. You managed to stop Dr. Fecal Matter and save them all, but let's reflect on what happened. What could we have done differently?
The room is bathed in soft light, with a large screen displaying a montage of footage from the day's events. The heroes, Connor, Zach, Chris, and Mr. Callaway, sit around the conference table, their expressions a mix of exhaustion and pride. Commander, their seasoned mentor, stands at the front, while Carl, the president of the Hero League, sits opposite them, reviewing notes.
I think we executed our plans well under pressure, but I felt like we could have coordinated our powers better. I was so focused on the control panel that I didn't see that wave coming.
I agree. If I had known how much danger you were in, I would have created a protective barrier sooner. We need to work on our communication, especially in the heat of battle.
Yeah, I think we got caught a little off guard. Dr. Fecal Matter's tactics were more chaotic than I expected. We should anticipate that he might come back with something more elaborate next time.
It's important to remember that every encounter teaches us something. Dr. Fecal Matter is unpredictable, and that makes him dangerous. We need to stay sharp and be ready for anything. Carl, the president of the Hero League, nodded thoughtfully.
Exactly. The reality is that every villain will learn from their failures. We've seen it time and again. Dr. Fecal Matter may be down now, but he won't stay down for long. We have to remain vigilant. Let's also not forget to celebrate our victory. We saved lives today, and that's what being a hero is all about, but we can't become complacent. We must train harder, stay united, and continue to grow as a team.
The heroes nod, a renewed sense of determination washing over them.
So what's next for us? More training sessions?
And some strategy meetings to plan for potential future threats. Absolutely. We'll set up more tactical training sessions, and I want each of you to think about your individual strengths and how they can complement each other better.
Let's make a pact. No matter what happens, we face it together. Together. The team raises their fists and joins in a unified cheer, their spirits lifted by camaraderie and purpose.
Good. Now let's get to work. We have a world to protect, and we're only getting started.
The camera zooms out, capturing the heroes as they stand together, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. The screen fades to black, with a final message appearing. Heroes rise together.